Today on True Hotel Leaders, we have the CEO of Invigorate Hospitality, Jennifer Daudi, and her code name is The Booker. Jennifer has booked millions of dollars worth of business and is taking the remote group sales sector by storm. Today, she will teach us how to increase hotel sales, what to do with changes that are happening in the marketplace, and what to look for when we're hiring a sales manager in 2022. All this and more on today's True Hotel Leaders, where leaders teach leaders. This episode was brought to you by co-hosts.
I had a hotel guest that didn't check out, didn't want to leave the room, and wouldn't open the door. So what did I have to do? I had to knock his lights out. With co-hosts, you have the power to control everything inside of the room, from the lights to the TV to the AC. This way, it gives you more control of every situation. Give your hotel the power of co-hosts. Hey, you know who it is. It is Bruce Jordan at MJ Hotels, and today we are here. Thank God we are here with Jennifer Daudi, the CEO of Invigorate Hospitality. What's going on, girl?
Oh, just getting through the week. The San Antonio cold is sinking in a little bit, but doing good.
Yeah.
How about you?
Pretty good. I always ask this question, especially beginners, tell everybody how you got started and how you got here. Like, what's your background?
So I was a VP of sales for a hotel management company, and of course, COVID happened, and the whole world got turned upside down, and our corporate office was dismantled, unfortunately, and it left me in a place thinking, okay, what am I going to do with my life? What's my passion? What's going to be next for me? Looked for other VPs of sales roles, things like that, and just nothing really hit. And I had worked with some other remote sales companies in the past and kind of figured out, okay, these are the things I liked about it, these are the things I didn't. And I mean, sales has just been my passion, and there's been no escaping it for me. And so that's kind of how it got started. I started with one client, and it just grew into this amazing remote sales company. We do consulting and training as well, and it's been a great ride. It's been lots of fun.
A lot of people has been doing remote sales, especially like at the location. I mean, it's crazy how, like, when COVID hit, you'll go from doing sales to doing laundry and housekeeping.
Yeah.
and now you're doing sales again. Like, what is like the biggest change you've seen pre-COVID versus what's going on today?
A lot. Gosh, I was thinking about this, and I think there's almost like it's like three parts, because I think you've got the salesperson, that their role has changed so dramatically, and then you've got the client who's changed, and then you've got the market and the type of business that you're going after. So I think it's like a three-prong thing, but it's all ever changing. You want me to go into detail about
all
of them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Please.
Okay, all right. So I think for the salesperson, I think that attitudes have changed a little bit, where they're kind of getting sick of sometimes that perpetual no. It can be a little bit exhausting. I think that, we went through a weird phase, right, where we had COVID lockdown, and then we started getting back to normal again. Now this new variant, and there's just so much uncertainty. And so I think that salespeople had to get really creative with what they're doing. Whereas, maybe you would send an email to someone. Well, now maybe you should be sending a video message so they can see your face. I started doing LinkedIn messages, the voice messages instead of, because, you can type these messages all day, but the reason I started was because someone did it to me.
Ah.
And I was, you listen to the messages, but then I was like, oh, that's different. And I actually listened to the person, responded to them, because I was like, this is a cool way to engage with people. So we do that on our team a lot too. Trying using video messaging, voice messaging, things like that. And I think, just making sure that you're taking the time to get to know your client really, really well, understanding their business, because a lot of times right now you only have one shot. Whereas before, maybe you could go knock on their door a couple times, go do, sales blitzes and visit them. But right now, those offices might not all be there. So you might only have one shot. It might be a virtual tour. So making sure that you're making that good first impression, I think, has really changed, whereas I think you had more opportunities in the past to make a sale.
I agree.
And, I think as far as strategy goes, getting your digital strategy on point.
I find that's a very difficult for a lot of hotels because it's new.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them don't know what they're doing, and 3, they don't have the budget to hire a professional.
Yeah. So. And I think that goes back to kind of looking at what your ROI would be. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be worth it? We're in 2022 now. Yeah. Most of your clients are remote at this point. I mean, there's some markets that they're back in the office, but I think it's important that and just your digital presence, I think having that on point, like pay-per-click stuff, where, like the hotel we're sitting in right now was one of the first hotels that I worked on, and we were talking about, they rebranded. Yeah. So that's, that kind of stuff is important, where they opened in the middle of COVID. So those types of things. And then your clients are some working from home, some working in the office, some more of a hybrid situation. So they might be at different stress levels as well, and understanding that, being empathetic to that. I think just really knowing your audience and making sure that you're taking the time to cater to each person and not be distracted on your phone when you're talking to them, with that one shot that you've got to make that great impression.
I get in an argument with salespeople all the time. I don't know, because I started off in accounting and I'm just used to arguing with salespeople. But back in the day, like I'll probably say about 20 years ago, not even that long, maybe 10, 15 years ago, those are the salespeople that they really went out there and got the business. Like they used to take cookies and cakes and drop off gift cards, and they were foot soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had this crazy increase in demand just before COVID. So a lot of times you will call salespeople, you'll be lucky to get a call back in 2 days. Like they were just order takers.
Yeah.
So I feel like what's going on right now after COVID, I see a lot of people, they're still not getting back to the basics.
Yeah.
So what are like some of the issues that you've had, compared now to then? And do you still feel like, we should be returning to be like the foot soldiers, or should we still be just order takers?
I love that you asked this question, because I'm so big on, like, you got to get back to the basics. And I think people forget that. And sales is not that hard. It's not that hard of a job. It is hard, but I think it's so, you're busy all the time is what makes it hard, and it's demanding, especially right now, because if you are not responding to that client quickly, you're not going to get that business.
There you go, because there's 100 hotels in that area. They could just pick up to the next call.
Yeah, I was actually, one of our clients was talking to me about, they were planning a conference, and he was like, I called probably 5 different hotels and no one got back to me. One hotel got back to him. And is it because they don't have somebody there? That could be, are they busy, or is it, they're doing other things, they can't respond, or who knows? So that, it's kind of hurts to hear that when I'm so passionate about, if somebody calls me that day, I'm going to respond, I will respond to them that day. I think hanging on to that business and making sure that you're responding to those people as quickly as possible, that's the way that you're gonna get it. I think letting a lead go any more than 24 hours at this point is, you're not gonna get it. You're dead. Well, it's so competitive right now too, right? Because
everybody needs the business. So
yeah.
And if you're letting it go to voicemail,
I don't know. Now, as far as voicemail, I've seen like people put their email addresses in their voicemail or put their cell phone numbers in their voicemail. Like, what are some of the things that you've seen work as far as making sure that lead doesn't go anywhere?
You know what's I think really cool what people start doing is text.
Oh,
They'll
nice.
say, here's my cell phone, send me a text message. If I don't respond, send me a text, and that's going to be the fastest way for me to get back to you. Because if you are lucky to be able to go out on sales calls, if you're in a market that corporate offices are open or schools, things like that, you just might not be getting back to the office as quickly.
Yeah.
You might be out and about. So I think including that for somebody, it's the way that a lot of business is done now. But yeah, I think text, email, including all those types of things, because an office line is not how we're working anymore. Things have changed so much since COVID, and people might be remote half the time too.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Or forwarding it to your cell phone too, if it's an office phone too. But I like the text thing. People just respond fast, I think, and even clients of ours will just text back and forth, hey, can you do this, and
I seen one girl. I thought it was genius. She had set up her office phone to ring her cell phone after 3 rings.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so like if she's not in office, it goes directly to her cell phone after 3 rings. I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. I gotta implement that into my repertoire.
Yeah.
But
I only have my cell phone, so I better answer it.
So you joined the league of crazy people.
Yeah.
That started a business during COVID in the hotel industry. Like that takes a lot of faith.
Yeah.
To start a hotel business in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
Like, what made you decide that, you know what, I don't care what happens, I'm going to pull this off?
Well, I was kind of like, what do I have to lose? Really,
My house, my car,
all
my
things.
belongings.
Well, I was lucky that I have the best support system in the world.
Beautiful.
My husband's amazing, my family, my friends. Honestly, I am so incredibly grateful that I was pushed to do this. As my husband, he was like, you can do this. You're good at this. You should do it. And it took that push. And even one of my first clients, they're like, it was kind of before I had decided this is officially what I'm going to do. And they were like, well, why would you want to go, work for somebody else? Why don't you be your own boss? So, I never thought that this was something I was going to do, but it just sort of naturally happened, honestly. And, we started building one client at a time. Now we've got an entire team. And I think coming from the corporate world, let's say, where I was a VP of sales, I was in an office, I was using, services like what I'm offering right now. There's other people out there doing it too that are also doing a great job that have started since COVID doing remote sales. But I think are you ready for a change? Are you ready for something different? Because people are kind of sick of doing things the same way. So I think that's where we've been really lucky where we're customizing everything and using the client's CRM if they want us to. People like that. They like that we can be a one-stop shop for them, and they're getting these proactive selling hours dedicated to their hotels, and it's just been, it's just naturally grown. I kind of pinch myself sometimes because it's just, it's amazing.
So if you need tech support for 10 different PMS systems, you know who to call.
I actually do have someone on our team that I'm like, okay, we call her for everything, every problem that we have. So I don't know how involved, but we can try. But yeah.
Like, where do you see things going with sales in the future? I know a lot of hotels save a lot of money using a company like yours. What is the average savings that you see happening across the board?
Oh gosh, I guess it depends on the market that you're in and what you would be paying a DOS or a sales manager. I would say at least 40% to half.
Nice.
Yeah.
40% is a big number.
Yeah. Now, well, this is where we're a little bit different though, because some hotels want 40 hours a week dedicated to their hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously that's going to cost them a little bit more.
Absolutely.
You know, a remote salesperson is not full-time on one property.
Correct.
But you know, you do have dedicated hours more than a lot of the others out there, which is really cool that we've been able to do that. But it is, I mean, it's a huge savings. I mean, even just, you know, benefits in general, you know, things like that. So
that is true. You know, I when I had managed a Crown Plaza, which turned into a Holiday Inn, and it was 136 room property. It had very limited meeting room space, and they had like 5-6 salespeople there. Like,
yeah.
So can you imagine if I can cut that in half?
Yeah.
And even if I just make one remote,
yeah,
I'll save $100,000 a year in salary. So,
well, and I think the other huge thing with remote sales too is I had this conversation with another client that I'm not talking bad about an on-property person, but how many hours a day are you getting to spend proactively selling? Because right now, you probably are working front desk. You probably are doing all these other things, right?
Yeah. Housekeeping.
Yeah.
Maintenance.
Yeah. Breakfast, you know, lobby lizard, whatever it is. So where we have dedicated time for each one so that you're getting focused, proactive selling time. You know, we even joke, like, it's hard for us to turn the switch off. Like, it's like, okay, you got to stop. Because you could just keep going and going. You're working from home. Or wherever you're working from, it's hard to stop when you've got a good day going, and so. But yeah, I think you actually do get more time that's proactively selling.
You know, I think it's more like pitching and catching. Like, so if you have someone on site and then you have someone remote, they can go ahead and throw you the ball. All you gotta do is catch it and close the deal.
Yeah.
So you know that makes a lot more sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the future looking like? What does the future hold? I know you started out alone, and now you have like this huge staff, and, and you don't even have time to eat anymore. You probably eat once a day because you're so busy. Like,
oh, it's funny. It's like whenever I talk to one of the people on our team, I'm like, oh, good, I can eat lunch now. No, we're growing. It's great. We've got, you know, a good base of clients right now. You know, obviously working on continuing to grow our client base, solid team. We're going to get out there more this year. You know, I want to get out to some more conferences, get our name out there. We are a new company, but I'm telling you, you know, I just think the way that we're doing things and the love and care and attention that we're putting into every single hotel that we have, it's just like, you know, you're not going to find anything like it, because this is my passion, and my team has been, I mean, they are my dream team. Like, it has been so cool hiring all these people that I either know or have been referrals, or, you know, now we're getting people that already do work for us that say, oh, our next hire has to be this one. And it's such a cool feeling to hire these awesome salespeople that, you know, maybe they just don't want to be on property anymore, to be honest with you. So yeah, I mean, we're moving and grooving. We're on every time zone at this point. You know, hopefully we just continue to grow and take care of our clients and make everybody some money in the process, right?
Absolutely. You know, I was just staying at this hotel Indigo in Atlanta, and they hired this girl, and her goal, she worked for a bigger property, and at that property, her goal was $700,000 a year, and she ended up closing like 1.2 million.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then they laid off because of COVID.
Yeah.
Really smart. The hotel that she was at before she went to the Indigo.
Yeah.
So, and she was saying, like, I would get all these deals and get all these contracts, and I'm like, how the hell are you doing this? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, what is your number one tip for you know, like, doing a jump like that and able to control the workflow?
My number one tip?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I think it's just staying focused. I think you have to stay focused and set realistic goals for yourself. Okay. In order to achieve, maybe to exceed expectations, taking baby steps, you know, looking at, okay, this budget is $2 million, let's say. Well, don't look at it as $2 million, break it down. Okay, this month I need to do this week I need to do this, today I need to do this, right? Yeah, I think breaking it down, I think it's just staying focused though. It's really hard right now because there's so much else going on, even, stopping to look at the crazy news that you see, then you get distracted, then you're like on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter or whatever, I mean, I think just setting time aside. I did something really silly when I first started. When I got to 3 hotels, I was still doing it myself. And then once I got past 3, that's when we hired our first person. But I was getting so distracted because I'm like, okay, I have to do this.
LinkedIn,
I'm looking
I
all
gotta
over.
post, I gotta.
Exactly. And like try and build a business at the same time. Yeah. I got a kitchen timer and I set a timer for myself. Okay, this hotel, I'm going to spend this much time as like a digital one. So you could set it for however long you wanted.
Oh, that is so cool.
And I'm like, all right, your butt's not getting out of this chair until you do, until that bell dings. Yeah.
I got to get up my cell phone.
Yep. And it's hard. And I think just, if you don't have a passion for this, you're not going to do well.
It's going to be tough.
I think for me, for my family, the one thing that I've learned throughout this whole pandemic has been your family, your life, your work-life balance is so important. And if you're not happy, then why are you doing it?
There you go.
So I think if you love hospitality, if you love sales, you set realistic goals and, you listen to your clients, I think you'll be successful.
Amazing. Man, how can everybody get in touch with you?
Well, we have our website. It's invigoratehospitality.com. We've got a sheet there that you can go ahead and fill out, and it'll go actually directly to me. And I'm not going 24 hours without responding to somebody. So no. And you can follow us on LinkedIn too. We've got some really cool videos and fun stuff where you can meet our team and all sorts of things like that on LinkedIn. So it's just Invigorate Hospitality on LinkedIn as well.
Fantastic. Listen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of True Hotel Leaders, where leaders teach leaders, and we'll be talking to you soon.